Welcome back, everyone, to Mixing Cultures. This episode is brought to you by Asian Lunches and their huge insulated lunch boxes. Okay, guys, so welcome back to Mixing Cultures.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
By now, when we're recording this, our 0 episode and the first episode have gone up.
Yes, they have now. Both episodes are up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And I was quite surprised by how many people had downloaded and listened to our podcast.
Yeah, because I was thinking of just like maybe the 5 people that are within our social circle that me and Sophia both knew. But it was actually larger than that, so I was actually quite surprised that other people were listening to our podcast.
I was mentally calculating in my head, like, if I know that many people, like, if I told that many people or not.
I know. I don't think I did even tell that many people, but It's a very nice surprise to see.
Mm-hmm. But before we start, you also had a friend that just started a podcast.
Yeah, so my friend, who I've met through twitch.tv, her gaming handle is Eowna, Eeowna, and she also started a podcast called Thickcast, so ThickCast. You can also find her on Spotify, so make sure you check out her podcast as well. That would mean the world to me.
And also big shout out to Esper. Esper was playing our podcast during his streaming, so just wanted to say thank you so much. If anyone has time, you guys should definitely check out Esper's Twitch. It's Esper_Tezuka, Tezuka.
Yeah, so these are some people just helped us get our podcast up from the ground. So we just really want to say thank you.
Yeah, and we really appreciate all your support. Even though they didn't know me at all, they were like so nice to me and I felt like so happy.
Yes, they know me and they just know Sophia is my sister who does the podcast with me.
But then, so we've given all the shout outs that we needed so far. Oh, also, Mom. Shout outs to Mom because Mom called me and she said she heard our podcast and then she was like, I remember some episodes that you guys are actually talking about, but she's like, it's so interesting how her point of view and our point of view are so different because the points of our lives, we had completely different aspects. So she thought that was really cool and she really enjoys listening to our podcast as well. So thank you, Mom. I love you.
Hi, Mom. Thank you. Love you. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting because obviously the way that we took in all our experiences are different. Like we didn't have that maturity to understand the complexity of the situation, all the financial aspects that went into it until later on now when we can kind of understand financial stability is. So yeah. I think it was interesting to see how we thought of the situation then and how we actually perceive it now.
Yeah, because me now, I understand Mom's situation completely more and I understand the way she raised us and why she did that way. Because I could tell if I have kids, I'd probably do the same thing. And my kids would probably hate me for it, but I would do it. I told Mom I'd probably never do what she did, but I might. Because when I look now, it looks right. Okay, so just going back to the topic that we were going to be talking about today. We did mention in the last episode that we were going to be talking about school lunches. Because that, I think, is such a debate on its own.
I think it's one of the places where kids in school can already tell if you're from a culturally different background, just from your school lunch.
Yeah, and I feel like especially where we live, there wasn't much Asians there anyways. So when we brought lunches, they would look at us very, weirdly.
Yeah, so just to put into perspective, the schools that we went to, I think excluding high school, the schools didn't have cafeterias and they didn't have lunches that students could buy. So we had to pack our own lunch no matter what.
Yeah, and also our mom, she tried really hard. She tried to give us, nutritional meals and things like that. But then what we brought is, of course, different from what kids would bring to school. It didn't necessarily mean that we wanted sandwiches, like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to bring to school because
I didn't even like peanut butter and jelly when I was younger.
Yeah, because to be fair, we like our food and we like it. It's just the how much interest it sparks from people and how people perceive it. That was the one that made us feel a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think it's also the way that people looked at us or reacted to the food that we brought to school. That was also one big part that made us really uncomfortable when we had to bring home lunches to school.
And also those giant insulated lunchboxes do not really help our situation at all. When we
Yeah,
have to
so
open our lunch and it's like this big tub, like four-tiered tub lunchbox.
yeah, so I think people can't imagine if I guess if you never have these lunch boxes, what they look like. So they're basically like cylindrical lunch boxes, and each like portion or each part of the stackable lunchbox can hold different stuff. So we might have soup on the bottom layer and then rice in the middle layer, and we might have like a couple side dishes on the top layer, and they would all stack up together and fit perfectly into its own little lunch bag that's also insulated, and you would have a little handle they could carry it to school.
Yeah.
So it's very noticeable from far away.
And also because ours was kind of metallic.
Yes, it was very, you would know from
So
far
the
away
the,
that that
the
was made.
very top of the lunchbox is the place that's the least insulated. So most likely fruits and like cherry tomatoes and things like that go on the top.
Yeah.
And
And the
then
soups and stuff would be on the
the
bottom.
very bottom. And then the second tier would be like in Korean it's called banchan, but it's like those side dishes, like those, like kimchi or like those kind of stuff you eat with the rice, like those
Yeah.
egg rolls, like stuff like that. And then third tier would be rice, and then the final tier at the bottom, the biggest one would be soup.
The thing that's amazing about that lunchbox is I think they knew that the hottest stuff or the stuff that had to be insulated the longest were on the bottom because the bottom compartment would have like a spoon built into
Mm.
the lid. And you could use the spoon to drink the soup, I guess, if you somehow lost your other spoon. But it did have a built in spoon, which is actually pretty smart.
Yeah, and then you'd always get those pencil case looking utensil pocket, the one you put the spoon and the chopstick inside. Or
Yes.
sometimes if your lunch was just like, those pink circular long hams you get in Korea?
Yes.
The one that
Like
you have to
sausages.
like the one you have to dip in egg and then like pan fry it a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you would get the spork, which is the spoon with like the little fork
Yeah,
at the
like
end.
because then you can still use it to scoop your rice, but you can also still use it to pick up the little sausage pancake things
Yeah.
from side dishes.
Yeah. But then even though let's say it was still stressful for you to bring like Asian lunches to school, what was your most
Yeah,
favorite lunch that you were able to take to school?
that's the thing. I think I was still so young that I don't remember exactly what we brought because I can't, if I had to say on top of my head, I can't remember any of the lunches that I brought. Yeah, until maybe like middle school. I don't remember.
Well, my favorite meal in the whole world is kimbap. Everyone in my life knows that is my favorite food in the world. Kimbap
Not
is
me.
like, you don't like it, but I will get to that later. But because kimbap, so it's basically like it's the same, it's seaweed, but then the rice is seasoned completely differently because sushi rice tends to be sweeter and has a bit of a tangy taste, where in kimbap the rice is seasoned with sesame oil, salt, and pepper.
Yeah, because Japanese sushi rice is like rice vinegar, sugar,
Yeah,
so it's sweet and tangy. While
yeah.
Korea's a bit more, it's more aromatic, I would say.
Yeah, and then inside, so everything in Korea also, so in the kimbap, if you know, it has like a meat that's optional. If you're vegetarian, you don't have to put meat, but some sort of protein. You put like the imitation crab. You have stir fried carrots and seasoned spinach, and some people put cucumber. It's like a love hate relationship with cucumber, to be honest, because I know some people that do not put cucumber at all in kimbap. I can't remember
Yeah.
if mom used to put it in or
Mom
not.
didn't put it in.
Okay, but I do.
Yeah, I don't think mom ever put cucumbers that I can remember in her kimbap.
Personally, I like cucumber. I just don't like putting the seeded part.
Yeah, it's watery.
Yeah, so that's why I cut that part off and then I put it in. But do you like cucumber?
I don't mind it. I've just never had it.
Do you? Okay, but here's the thing. So Sally is not a fan of kimbap,
Yeah, like if it's there, I'll eat it, but I don't crave it if I can't see it.
but me, like, I go out of my way to get it. So when I first go to Korea, like, apart from eating my mom's food, the first week or two, I will only eat kimbap
I don't get it.
until I get that craving out of my system. And even though it takes like seriously like an hour or two to make kimbap because I'm not very good at it, I will still stand in my tiny kitchen to make kimbap.
Yeah, what people don't understand is the food itself looks really simple, but the prep that goes into each of the steps, it takes a really long time. The visual just looks really nice at the end.
Korean food in general, it looks so yummy and like easy to make, but the process of making Korean food is tedious.
Yeah, so like kimbap, there's another Korean dish called japchae, where it's like noodles and vegetables stir fried, and you have to stir fry the vegetables in
Yeah.
like a certain order so the color doesn't bleed through to the next ingredient, like how you would saute the onions before you saute the carrots so the onions don't turn orange.
But that's me. I have to follow that order.
Me too.
So, yeah. But that's because mom told us when we make japchae, we have to cook in that order so the color doesn't come off to the next vegetable. That's why, yeah. So I always cook my onions first and then I do like my paprikas. Oh, you know in New Zealand they call paprikas capsicums?
I've heard it as both, but I think paprikas or bell peppers are more well known.
But oh, when we say paprika, we mean bell peppers, by the way, because a lot of people, yeah, in Korea it's called paprikas. But then I would do like my paprikas first, and then my carrots, and then my meat at the very end.
Yeah, because meat, when you cook it, it releases that kind
Yeah,
of water, and you don't want that leaching into the other ingredients. But yeah,
yeah,
I do follow the same order.
yeah. We listen to our mom very well, as you can see. No,
It's been ingrained since we were young.
back to kimbap. Mom used to always say that Sally doesn't like kimbap is because it has way too many vegetables inside.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was a really picky eater. Like, just smelling any vegetable, especially like broccoli, made me want to gag, and I just hated eating any vegetables.
Fact, when my mom used to force Sally to eat vegetables, she would cry. No
Yes,
joke.
I would cry.
On the dinner table.
Well, it was a very sad moment for me. Like, just smelling it, like, made me want to gag. Like, I just hated anything that had vegetables. Like, I think one time she tried to make me eat broccoli, so she put cheese on top and grilled it. No, no, no. I still couldn't eat it. It was nasty.
No, but then it's not just broccoli and cauliflower. It was like lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce, nah.
It was, oh my gosh, I remember because when we used to live in Canada, my mom used to just cut bell peppers and just keep them on the table. So if
Yeah.
we were hungry, we could just like grab one and nibble on it as we're walking past.
But,
And
like, why would you want bell peppers as a snack?
and like I really like bell peppers. Bell peppers are my thing. Like I eat them raw. Even now, if bell peppers are on sale, I will buy like a whole bunch, chop it up, put it in a container, and if I'm just hungry, I'll just pick at it whenever I want, right? But Sally used to, when my mom used to make her eat it, Sally used to shed tears in the dining room table, and then I'd just be looking at her like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
like, that's
what
nasty.
am I
Why
gonna
would
do
you? Like,
now?
why would you voluntarily choose to eat bell peppers as a snack when you can have other stuff? I think like the only crunchy, not meat thing that I liked eating were fruits, but I didn't understand why people would like eat bell peppers as a snack. And because I would not eat vegetables, what mom used to do is she used to like juice apples and carrots to give like force me to drink at least the vitamins that are in the water. And like it'd be fine with just carrots and apples, but she suddenly started putting celery into the juice, and like raw celery, the taste overpowers everything that could possibly like be in the juice. Like it tastes like those healthy like detox juices you would get now, But like just putting in the celery made it nasty, and I just chugged it to get rid of it.
You know, like thinking about food has gotten me thinking. You know, I used to be always so envious of those kids who brought Lunchables to school.
Yeah, so I remember there were like lots of different types of Lunchables. I mainly wanted to just eat the pizza one because it looked really cool. But I think like then when Lunchables were really popular, they came with like desserts like Oreos, and they came with like a juice pouch. I think like Capri Sun.
A juice box.
Yeah, it was like the Capri Sun
Yeah.
that came with the whole meal, and it kind of just solidified them together. But I've had it now, and it's just not that good.
I think to be honest, until now I've never tried a Lunchable in my life.
I've tried it like when I'm an adult, and I don't see what the hype was. I think it's just that concept of you can make your own food when you were young that made it really popular. But the taste wise, it's really slacking. Like it's not very good. Yeah, and like the only reason why I wanted it was for the pizza one. You got a little spoon to like put the sauce on, but that's about it. Like I didn't.
Sally was like the collector of those little. If you know Baskin Robbins, you know those little pink spoons that you taste one. Yeah, like Sally's the kind of person that would like get them and bring them home like an Asian mom. She'd like wash it and keep it.
Yeah, like the small things are so cute. So I think I was only obsessed over that Lunchable because of that small spoon. But yeah, also the concept
Yeah,
of
that's
putting it
true.
together also made it look really cool when I was younger.
You really like tiny things though when you were young. Yeah.
Along with Lunchables, I really like the fruit roll-ups and the Dunkaroos.
Oh, I like Dunkaroos.
Like Dunkaroos are amazing. They're little cookies that come with dippable frosting. Like how could any kid not like it? It's amazing.
But I preferred Gushers and fruit roll-ups.
Oh, remember when they had like the tongue tattoo fruit roll-ups? Oh,
Fruit roll-ups. It's like when you're unraveling the fruit roll-up, they would have like that little like a picture on the fruit roll-up, and if you held it against your tongue, it would tattoo it on your tongue. Now that you think about it, it's really disturbing and creepy, but when you're young, that was like the coolest thing ever.
they also had like the fruit gushers where they were like gummies,
Yeah.
but they had like the liquid inside, and but it'd be so hard to eat because they were always clumped together in the bag. Like, why did they always
Yeah.
clump? I don't understand.
If you just had a bit of humidity, like they were not strong against humidity, like to be fair. No, but then I don't know, when I think about childhood snacks, people in Canada know about ketchup chips, but that is like liquid gold. It's
And
so
and
good.
all dressed chips are amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love all dressed. Oh my god.
They're like a combination of like sweet and like salt and vinegar and like barbecue. It's like a weird flavor.
And like ranch. It has a bit of ranchy
Yeah,
flavor.
like it's a mixture of everything, but it's just so good. I think also hickory
Right.
sticks.
Oh my god, I love hickory sticks. Oh my
Hickory
god.
sticks are like little thin pieces of potato chips that tasted like hickory smoke and like bacony in a way, and it was very salty, but also very good.
They have similar looking ones here, but it doesn't taste the same.
Mm.
No. But I'm not really like a sweets person. I prefer savory than sweet. But the one candy that I absolutely love is Tootsie Rolls. Sally just made a face. She hates it. But I love Tootsie Rolls.
I don't know. I remember I really like Snickers and you really like Twix. But Snickers, I could literally eat a mountain full and it would still taste amazing at the end. I don't know why I'm just so obsessed with them.
When we were doing Halloween, I would trade Sally my Tootsie Rolls for like her Tootsie Rolls for something she liked from my candy because
You like Twix, I remember.
I I don't like nuts in my chocolate. To be very fair, unless it's like macadamia nuts,
You bougie.
it is. But I don't like peanuts in chocolate.
Oh,
Like like the O Henry bars.
I love O. Henry.
I don't like O Henry bars. I'm sorry. Yeah,
But you like Twix, I think. That's why we were always like not fighting.
I love Twix.
I feel like Twix is more wafery.
It's not as wafery as coffee crisp.
Yeah, I guess.
It's more of a shortbread consistency for
Yeah, it's
Twix.
like a shortbread that's kind of coated in chocolate, and it was more crumbly when you
Yeah.
ate it. But it didn't have like any caramel or anything. But like along with food, something that I really enjoyed was going to those picnics with the church that we went to when we were younger.
I actually wanted to talk about this because I saw a picture on Instagram that was like, it said Asian picnic compared to like westernized picnic. Because when you think of a normal picnic, you think of sandwiches or someone grilling like hot dogs on the barbecue, right?
Yeah.
But then our Asian, I don't know if we're allowed to say Asian ass, but
I guess Korean?
maybe, yeah, maybe our Korean butts decided that we need to bring a rice cooker filled with cooked rice to the picnic. It's like those ones for like 10, 20 portion. Yeah, it's like the 20 portion rice cooker one. And then you would bring like the Korean barbecue pork belly, and then you would bring like lettuce and like, the samjang, the dip that you eat with the pork belly. You'd bring a Bunsen burner.
I don't think it's called a Bunsen burner. I think that's science.
Oh, then what is it called?
I think it's like a propane like stove top or something.
It's called a butane stove.
Yeah, so butane is probably just another gas you can use for grilling.
Anyways, apparently it's not a Bunsen burner. Sorry, I'm not smart or no English, whatever. Anyways, we would bring that and we would bring like a frying pan. Not use a grill. We would bring a frying pan and you'd see people opening up those wooden chopsticks and with like the plastic spoon. We'd eat it and then after they would use that stove again to make soup and eat it again.
So what people don't understand is for Korean food, like the dessert is also carbs. Yeah, so when people would eat barbecue, you would get fried rice at the end that would be using all the fats that are left on the grill.
And leftover meat, like chopped thin.
Yeah, so in a lot of these picnics, we wouldn't eat the fried rice at the end of the meal, but we would make like spicy instant packet like Korean ramen, and that kind of cuts back all the fattiness you ate, and it was literally amazing. It's the best thing in that picnic, I think.
Okay, but if you're not at a picnic and you're just at a restaurant, I really suggest you order something called naengmyeon,
Oh,
which is cold noodles, but then they have the liquidy one that's not spicy and a dry one that is spicy. But if you eat that with meat, it kind of cleanses your palate and it's like mwah.
but like our church would have these picnics like pretty frequently. Like everyone would go, and it'd be very often we had these picnics.
Yeah, it was at that lake, that big lake. We had to drive so far to get there.
Yeah, but it was so worth it because I think that's an event that I was looking forward to every time we went to church, hoping, one day we'll have a picnic.
Yeah, me too. We used to have really, like, food is such a big part of Asian culture. And that's one thing I'm really glad that we didn't lose while we were living abroad, is because even though we've lived abroad for so long, in the end, we still prefer Asian food over Western food.
Yeah, like even now when I'm home a lot, majority I'll cook like Korean food and I'll have Western food like once in a while because I've had so much Asian food.
Yeah. Like that quiz we took in the last episode when it asked about which food you would eat. I was kind of sad that there was no Asian choices at all.
Well, probably it wasn't in the mind of the person who wrote it.
Probably, but in Asia food culture is so big.
Yeah, like food
Yeah.
is a majority of the culture and it's a very big part.
Yeah. I think next time if we get a chance, we can talk about like the Lunar New Year and like the Mid-Autumn Festival, like what kind of food we eat in Korea.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like food is a really big part of those holidays, but I've never really got to experience them though.
Yeah, the last time I went back to Korea to celebrate is more than 6 years ago, but I did a lot of work. They made me do a lot of work.
Yeah, like I was never there.
That's true. I did it once when I was in Indonesia back back when I was with my in-laws, I cooked one big meal for them. But I remember you standing in front of fire from morning to night, like on the stove, like making those things. It's so much work.
Yeah, like usually those holidays overlap with like classes that I take during university.
Yeah.
So I never actually was in Korea during those holidays, but I've had those foods like on different occasions just randomly throughout the year. So I don't know the full experience.
But also, if anyone was curious about any particular like Korean food, I'm not like an awesome cook, but I do know how to cook most of the dishes that are like very westernized. Like,
Yeah, me too.
so like if anyone was curious on how to make it and stuff, on our Instagram channel, I could probably like make short clips and like post it up so you guys can have a look as well if you're really curious about Korean food.
Yeah, like Sophia's kitchen is a lot better than mine, so she should be in charge of making that little cooking video.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like my fridge doesn't even open all the way.
You should take a clip of that and post it on our Instagram so they know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I did post it on a TikTok video, but if I can like find it, I'll put it on the Instagram to show you guys.
But then we were always worried in the beginning, like, how do you fill up 20 minutes of talking on podcast? And we've never gone below 20 minutes once while we're recording.
I think I should change it to like 30 minutes now.
It's the intro episode because we're so awkward. If you look, we're like, hello.
But yeah, like I think we'll just make the episodes like 30 minutes long. That way I'm not pressured to like, shorten it.
Let's knock on wood.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be okay for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Shout outs to Sally because Sally does most of the editing. Well, not most, all of the editing because I work full time and Sally's at home, so
Yeah, I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
So I can edit.
Yeah, so she does most of the editing. I want to try editing, but I'm a bit scared because I don't know how it's gonna.
I asked you last time if you wanted to
Yeah.
edit, and then you were like, nope. So, I did it.
Again, the situation. I just learned Google Docs. What was the other thing I learned? I just learned something else last time.
That you tap and you can go to the top of the page.
Oh yeah, I did not know. I had an iPhone for how many years now? I did not know that. So, and you're expecting me to edit. Isn't that like a too big of a leap in between?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, when I first recorded, the metronome was on, so there was like a clicking sound the whole time, so we had to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, because I didn't realize if the metronome thing was on, it recorded with your audio and you could like hear it consistently.
But everyone, thank you so much for all the support. We're now finally on Apple Podcast as well as on Spotify. So if you do listen to us on Apple, please rate us and please write reviews. We love hearing everything, and getting more reviews will really get our content out more for more people to see. We also have an Instagram page at the Mixing Cultures Podcast. We do upload, and the day before our uploads of episodes, we do put out a clip that we think that we like or we think it's funny. So you guys can get a kind of a teaser to see what the next episode's going to be. So stay tuned for that as well. And did you want to say anything before we sign off?
Yeah, and I just want to confirm or just let you guys know, feel free to DM us on Instagram for any questions you want Sophia and I to personally answer, or topics that you want us to cover, and questions you can ask to be anonymous just in case we use your question. We won't name you in the podcast.
Yeah, but everyone, thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening wherever you are listening to our podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Right? Bye!
Bye-bye.